How many of you have a college-aged child who wants to be a farmer, and you have been telling them their entire life, you need to get a real job? You need to go to college, you need to get your degree, you need to have a real job. I've told my own kids that because I think their missions align with that. But some of my kids are planning on going to college, and they call me every week saying, Dad, look at my garden, I'm growing all this food. So it's very interesting. What path will they actually take? There's nothing wrong with college, it's wonderful. My wife graduates from BYU this week. But where do you go to learn to be a farmer in today's economy? Because if you go to the colleges to learn that, they are going to tell you you need gigantic equipment, gigantic tracts of land, you're going to grow a monocrop. They're still telling all of the things that are not absolute truths. They're telling what has worked in the past 70 years, but it's not working now. The greatest scientists who work for the USDA are saying everything we taught are not working now. If you don't believe it, look up Ray the Soil Guy, Ray Archuleta, and he will tell you that. Go watch 10 of his YouTubes, and you will see that what has worked in the past does not work now. That's why there's a pending famine.
We have to do things different.
So I created a school to teach people how to grow food. And the result of the food we grow in an ecological way is the nutrition is higher than corporate food. We need farmers.
Just come learn how to be a farmer.
Come learn how to be a farmer. Okay, I'm super excited about what's happening in here. So I have all these tomatoes to go outside. I have zinnias that are sprouting, peppers, 3 trays of carrots. I used to think you couldn't transplant carrots, but I've perfected a way to do it. So when you come to boot camp and you're on my Patreon page, you learn how to do that. And then here's the wave petunias. They're going to be awesome. I'm going to plant them on the rock wall, and they're going to grow down. And then we have asparagus. I've never planted asparagus from seed before, for like obvious reasons to gardeners, because seed isn't as good because you get male and female plants. And if you buy the roots, then you only get the male plants. But I wanted to try it from seed, and they are the cutest little thing. There's asparaguses here that are the size of a mechanical pencil lead. They're coming up. Ooh! Yeah! Vernie, we're brand new grandparents, and Vernie goes and sees the little baby, and she's like, ooh, it's so wonderful. And when my seeds come up, I'm like, oh, they're so cute.
It's true.
So we've got random vegetables right here. Got wonderful cactus with the most wonderful flowers that they grow. And then all of these, all across here, these are the sunflowers. So I don't even know how many I have. Probably 400 sunflower starts.
Are those the sunflowers from Caitlin?
I'm breeding a landrace
okay.
sunflower. So I have about 20 varieties of sunflowers, and they're all mixed up so that they will cross-pollinate, create all kinds of hybrids to freak out people who think hybrids are bad. I tried to sell seeds one year. Nobody would buy them because they had really great seeds. But I didn't call them heirlooms, so people didn't want them. I'm really sad for people who are going to pull out their seeds with this food crisis and plant all their heirlooms and they don't get enough food.
Hybrids are not the same as GMO.
And I wasn't even selling hybrids that year. They were just open pollinated.
Well, that's a common misunderstanding.
But it freaks people out.
People don't understand the terminology. It's kind of too bad.
And then I have I just planted these yesterday. These are my landrace pumpkins that I'm breeding. So many varieties to cross-pollinate. The reason you make a landrace is so that you can grow crops and create your new heirloom. If you want an heirloom, you don't get one that was bred 100 or 200 or 500 years ago in a completely different climate, and when you bring it to your climate, it struggles to live because it's adapted to those areas. You breed your own. It's wonderful. So right here, I have 6 trays. So this is 1,200 plugs, and they all say Marilla because these are wildflowers that she planted. And then I have gray zucchini, patty pan zucchini, yellow crookneck squash, and then an array of different kinds of pickles, all kinds of pickles. I love growing pickles. We've got the acorn, delicata, long neck, Hubbards, and maybe there should be more Yeah, okay, so those are the winter squashes. I probably should plant some more though. It looks like it's not enough. I feel hungry. And then we have the Frosty Melons. This is a landrace I've been trying to develop. Last year, it showed frost resistance. Who has ever heard of a melon that showed frost resistance? All the other melons in the patch died with the killing frost. There was one melon that was still alive. Absolutely fantastic. Unheard of in the horticultural world where I come from. I've asked people about it and they said, oh yeah, boy, I've never heard of that. So interesting. And then I've got muskmelons. I've got moon and stars. Indian cave, Minnesota midgets, crunchies. We're good. And then there's all this down here. Look at all this. I have all kinds of culinary and medicinal herbs. We have strawberries. I'm growing alfalfa. Why would I grow alfalfa in little plugs? Because it's a good way to do it, but it's unheard of. People haven't thought about that. Why aren't people thinking? Because they're too busy going to work every day. People need to get in their garden. Another thing that's happening, we let these wonderful cole crops go to seed. And when the big, beautiful yellow flowers open, we eat them.
They're one of
It's
my
so
favorite
good.
things.
It's so wonderfully good. That's our Walipini update.
I gotta show them the dill.
Okay, come to boot camp. It's in a week from now. Come to our 17-week farmer training class. If you've lost your job recently and need a new career, I will teach you how to be a farmer. And now is the time to be a farmer this year. But if you don't know how, don't start cold turkey. Come to my 17-week farmer training, and you will go through our entire growing season here, which is only 17 weeks. But I will teach you how to grow food in adverse climates. Because that's where we live, is in an adverse climate. You'll learn all about greenhouses. You'll learn about planting. You'll learn about soil. You'll learn about the microbes. I'll teach you how to use a microscope so you can do your own soil analysis. And I will teach you how to grow an abundance of food in times of food shortages, high-priced food. And you will go home with the skills to be able to do production. I've known a lot of people over the years, and they've tried to do a food production system, and they were really good at business, and they got all these people ready to pay them money, and then they failed in the production of their garden. We can solve that this year. It costs about the same as a semester of college.
Yeah.
So I think it's like $2,500, give or take $50 or something. I don't remember. We'd have to look at the website. But go to my website, www.georgicrevolution.com. All the information is on there. Sign up and come. Okay, one more thing that's super important. If you can't leave because you have kids and a life and you can't just up and leave to come to a 17-week class, get on my Patreon page and it teaches you almost the same stuff. Every day, well, 5 days a week. I've been putting out videos for 5 days a week for months now. And it's of me in here jumping up and down, screaming like I have been on this. You gotta just figure I'm a comedian, okay? This is funny. But I will teach you how to grow food.
We need food growers.
We need more farmers.
There's food shortages. There's inflation. There's serious problems going on in the world right now. There's fertilizer shortages. There's
But okay, here's the key.
There's shortages everywhere.
Here's the key of what you learn when you come to any of my classes. You learn how to grow food without the store. You will not be buying fertilizer. You will not be buying pesticides or herbicides or none of that. You don't need rototillers. You will not be using fossil fuels. You could use fossil fuels if your garden is big, like over a couple of acres big. But I will show you how to grow food for dozens of people. Like one person could feed 8 to 10 families, doing it properly with some infrastructure. Now there are some things you could buy, like a greenhouse. We don't go out and just make that out of the elements of the earth. But once you have the greenhouse, you're not dependent on high-priced fertilizers and all the other things that people commonly use in agriculture. I teach you how to do it with an ecological way. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes.